Hello everybody and welcome to one of my favorite games of all time, Xenosaga 3, a brief recap, or otherwise known as Pikino. This is such a fantastic follow-up to the previous games and is so fulfilling for those that have carried on the whole way. I want to quickly bring back the slide I bring up every time. Huge thanks to the Xenosaga Wiki. This page has huge depths of information on everything Xenogears and Xenosaga, which is instrumental for these recap PowerPoints. As much as I've played through these games, there's always something I'm going to forget based on how deep they are lore-wise. So this wiki really helped me in making sure all my information was correct. So definitely go check them out. So, before we begin the plot of this game, there are some concepts we need to go over that were introduced in Episode 2, but are kind of more fully developed in this game that I want to make sure we have in order. So, before we begin, we have to talk about the big robots. These appeared in Episode 2, but Episode 2, like I said, introduced a lot of new concepts, so I didn't want to bog it down. So these are the ES units. ES means Ein Sof, and is a Hebrew phrase meaning unending or no end. It is from the Jewish mystic text, the Zohar. They are the equivalent to the Xenogears version of the Omni Gears, and they are ZW2's artifices. As they are mechs that receive an extreme amount of power by way of connection to the Zohar, unlike the artifices though, they have this connection not by way of slave generators, but instead through vessels of anima. We'll talk about those in a minute. They cannot be piloted by someone who hasn't awakened with anima. We'll talk about more of this later. And there are 12 ES units, and they're all named after the 12 tribes of Israel. Asher, Dan, Dinah, Gad, Issachar, Joseph, Judah, Levi, Naphtali, Reuben, Simeon, and Zebulun. The vessels of Amina are the true source of the names, and it is the name that they are aligned to. The vessels of Anima are also called Anima Relics, especially in Xenogears. These hold untold power within themselves, but serve a higher mysterious purpose when gathered along with the Zohar. You can think of them as some sort of Trinity processor with the Zohar, even higher than that of Xenoblades, as they function together to operate devices of even higher power. Now, note, I say Trinity, and yet the vessels of Anima are 12 relics, and the idea of Anima and the Zohar are only 2. There's more to this, but we'll talk about it later. But there is a third sort of part to that Trinity. And the 12 vessels of Anima are 12 of the whole. So, to recap, there are 12 vessels of Anima. They power the ES units. We have 4 ES units under our control, being Dinah, Asher, Zebulun, and Reuben. And also, fun fact, the object in the background of Xenosaga 2's logo is a vessel of Anima. Okay, so beginning the game proper. So, Shion has joined up with Scientia, alongside Doctus and the other X-Vector employee, Miyuki Itsumi. More on Miyuki in the next slide. They've begun a virtual hack to Vector's S-Line division to uncover secrets about the UMN's origins, similar to how Doctus is remotely piloting an android named Doctus. Shion and Miyuki are performing this hack in VR from remote locations. So, Miyuki, she's X-Vector R&D under Shion Uzuki. She's actually the one who developed Shion's arm cannon that she uses, and Miyuki's also been a character since this point, but she's been a minor role, so I haven't really gone into depth with her. But she's basically a playable party member until we recover Cosmos, so canonically she's cooler than Alan. Kanan's also working with us, because he's cool like that, and we actually learned that inside his data is a program installed by Vector called Program Kanan, which gives us big, oh no, he may be reprogrammed late to turn on us later vibes. So we end up successful with the mission, and Doctus begins to unravel the information they've obtained while Shion unplugs, revealing she's working from a beach on an island called Padilla. Here she gets a video message from Alan, who is still at Vector, saying that higher-ups are going to be scrapping the Cosmos project officially, and requesting that Shion come visit on 5th Jerusalem, their current workstation. We'll cover what happens there in just a moment, as we have to switch POVs to the other half of the crew. The Durandal and the Elsa. So, Junior, Cass, Jin, and Momo are tracking down a mysterious landmass that has shady Utic/Ormus energy all over it, called Ren Le Chateau, which is a landmass that originated from Lost Jerusalem, or Earth. Here we have a boss fight against Margulis in his ES Levi, and we fight him as he tries to stop us from breaching the Holy Land. We're able to push him off, but he's able to strike at the Elsa, causing it to fall and crash on the landmass. He's going to pursue them further, but Margulis gets recon from a familiar face. So, the 4 Testaments. Notably, before we ever learn of RLC's existence, the 4 Testaments were able to arrive and retrieve her body from within this tomb. This tomb is important because we actually visited it in Xenosaga 1 when we dove into Cosmos' Encephalon. This is the same place we got visions of Febronia and Miltia pre-Miltian conflict. When we arrived in this tomb back then, we didn't know where this was, and we found Cosmos tied to the cross back here in a crucifixion stance with electrical cords. With the Testaments, we also get to see the White Testament in action for the first time, after their creation in the post-credit scene of Xenosaga 2. And then we have an interesting place flashback. This is technically the first thing you see in the game, but I'm putting it here because it's thematic. We have a flashback of a planet's demise, and this planet is Mictum. If this sounds familiar, it's because it was previously called Abraxas, and it was the home of Andrew Cherenko before he underwent his personality reconditioning, and this is also where Jan Sauer conducted his investigation into the Voyager murders. There's a young boy who receives a pendant from his mother before his mother sends him away in a space pod to survive elsewhere. Now, from a missing year context, we now know the reason for Mictum's destruction was because Grimoire Verum was sending mass Gnosis attacks, because this also used to be the place where the Zohar was held for a number of years, before being transported to Milsha. Oh, and this kid here, one of the sole survivors, is Kevin Winnicott, Shion's dead boyfriend. Next, we see the Red Testament speaking with Wilhelm in the present. While the crew are dealing with Margulis, this is where the Red Testament went after RLC, and he speaks with Wilhelm, who comments mysteriously that she, of all people, has a shining will. Why would that ever be? You might think it's related to the body they picked up in the tomb, but we'll leave that for later. Regrouping with Shion and Alan, we move back with Shion's POV. Don't worry if this is a lot at once. Once we regroup with everyone, we'll lighten up on the POV switching. They head to 5th Jerusalem, and I just have to show you the spaceport of this place, because you'll get a kick out of it. So 5th Jerusalem, and then here we have the first low orbit station from Xenoblade 2. I just wanted to point this out, because it's really fun. Shion meets with Alan at the Mobius Hotel. I also just wanted to bring up the use of that terminology here, as I'll talk more about it in Xenoblade 3. Alan also divulges that before the Cosmos Project is going to get cancelled, it's been transferred to the military's jurisdiction. Surprise Yuriev! Yeah, so POV switch time. We're here with Dmitry Yuriev as he's meeting with an interesting character I'll go over in a minute called Sellers. Yuriev is notably struggling for control with Negredo, but is able to maintain it, which brings up a concern from a grown-up Citrine. Yeah, she's here, and she's Yuriev's faithful daughter/clone. Now, Sellers is a Hyam scientist who may look familiar, because he has an XP in Xenoblade 2's expansion Torn of the Golden Country, and Stanif, the indolent character responsible for the creation of Blade Eaters. Sellers is practically the same character who was involved in a lot of shady shit in the shadows. Say that 5 times fast. Sellers and Yuriev are currently in possession of the Zohar, and they are working on a new weapons project against the interests of Vector, as they seem to be opposed. The weapon is said to have a new opponent and is going to be tested at the Vector facility, and will show its power in due course, implying the Zohar has a hand in this power source. Hey, guess where we're going back to now? Back at Vector, Shion and Alan attend the showing of the Cosmos Project, as Vector is interestingly going to use Cosmos as a test against its new weapon. This is separate from the weapon that Yuriev was just talking about, but it's funny because both of them are going to appear practically at the same time. I'll go over them separately because, woo boy! So, this is Omega Res Novae. Remember when Omega awoke and destroyed the remains of Milsha in Episode 2, and we thought we'd have a super cool boss fight against it like we do in the DS retelling? Anyway, here's Omega Res Novae, an improved version of this mech that uses one pilot similar to an ES, but is even higher in power instead of as a vessel of Anima, the original Omega was using, as Zohar as a power source. Think of it like Ion from Xenoblade 2. However, since Yuriev's in possession of the Zohar, Sellers has outfitted Res Novae with an emulator. Also notably, Res Novae itself is 2 Xenogears references in one. The form we see it in now is a reference to the final form of Deus from Xenogears. I can't explain this anymore, or else it'll be spoilers, but there's more to this reference in Xenoblade 3 that we're going to talk about much down the line. Another form here of Res Novae that we'll see much later in the game is an XP of Xenogears, Phase Omnigear from Xenogears. So we have the final boss and that which bears fangs against the final boss as the same mech. That's really cool. And Omega's pilot is, of course, Abel. Remember how Nephilim is an XP from Ellie from Xenogears? Well, Feifeng Wang, Xenogears' central character, has his own XP in Abel. He is a mysterious boy who has very few words when we meet him. Oh yeah, and when we do meet him, he's drawing a picture of Nephilim on the floor, just further solidifying that connection. I'm going to talk more about this in Xenogears. Get in the robot, Abel. So that's huge. Equally as huge as Nephilim is for Ellie, and Omega Res Novae is for Deus and Xenogears. And that other weapon is Telos. We'll show this introductory cutscene right here.
That's the exercise area? It's larger than I expected. It's almost like an army bombing range.
Yes. They're promoting it as an activation test along with a mock battle. It's very close to real combat, but Togashi thinks it's a demonstration by the Salvatore faction. If funding gets approved, the military intends to start mass production of the new unit immediately.
We will now begin the startup test and mock battle performance of the new model anti-Gnosis humanoid fighting system. Now for this test, we will be using a mock battle form, limiting output to 36% of normal.
That's Cosmos?
Are you surprised? She looks just like Cosmos. Development code TPXX, also known as Telos, the ultimate finished unit. A startling advancement in science, as they say.
Telos. So, this is the source of your worries?
Yeah, well, that's half of it. She's one half of the new anti-Gnosis weapon system that was brought in to replace Cosmos as the core of the Zohar project.
Half? Wait a minute. I don't understand. You mean there's another one?
Yes. This one's fine. The problem lies with the other one. Well, soon you'll understand, but don't be surprised if it shocks you when you see it. The military requisitioned them from Vector for this demonstration. Although, Chief, I believe that you would know more about that than me.
Gnosis. Gnosis seized by Vector. Amazing! Her speed is incredible!
According to the specs, both her reaction time and Hilbert's strength are 3 times Cosmos' combat frame. She's the Galaxy Federation's trump card.
Who designed her?
No one knows. Not even the staff were informed of where she actually comes from. If we could take apart the OS, we might be able to guess based on how the code's written. But the environment's proprietary, and we can't get anywhere close to it. Oh, that over there is Roth Mantell, the man in charge of the T-weapon development.
So, Telos' designer is a bit of a dick. His name is Roth Mantell. He's a bit of a mysterious enigma to Alan, but Roth tells Alan that the Cosmos project is going to be scrapped entirely to further development in Telos. Roth Mantell is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, so you know he's going to be important, and Roth Mantell is German for red coat. I just wanted to point that out for reasons. Shion and Alan can't stand the idea of Cosmos being scrapped, so they meet up with Jin, Momo Jr., and Chaos to break into Vector to rescue her. Yuli Mizrahi gives them access to the building, and we go through a quick dungeon where we come across Abel, who seems to be strangely guiding them to Cosmos, saying, "Sad being this way." Now, as we meet up with Cosmos, Shion begins having these strange headaches where she connects with Udu. Each time this happens, she seems to get further along in the conversation with Udu.
Shion.
Is that you calling me again? Who are you?
What do you seek?
I don't seek anything.
I want to know you. To know your world.
You want to know me? I want to know you as well. Tell me, who are you?
I am the will of the universe. You identify me as Udu.
You're Udu?
What do you desire from the world?
So, we have just managed to save Cosmos, and from this, Miyuki is no longer a party member, but we get Cosmos back, so it's fine. We also see some more direct confirmation that Roth Mantell is actually the Red Testament, if it wasn't clear enough before, and Roth says it's fine that they've got Cosmos, because regardless, the 13th key will reach that location in due time. So, now our crew begins to go save the Elsa. We head for Rennes Chateau to save the Elsa, now that we've got Cosmos on our side, and we've land on the Forgotten Landmass and explore another dungeon that is a strange temple. We also get this fun interstitial between Roth and the Blue Testament at the tomb we saw them at previously, where the Blue Testament is sort of teasing Roth, saying that, are you sure he's not infatuated with her? Is it regret from the time when you still wore a mantle of flesh? And also we get a very interesting piece of dialogue where now you're going to use the daughter in place of the imperfect mother. This will come back up. Reaching the depths, we encounter the Blue Testament.
Whoa! Where are we?
It looks like a cave. A very wide one.
Is that Hebrew? No, maybe it's ancient Aramaic. Behold the great... I don't know, I can't read it!
And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
Wow, you can read it?
No, I recognize it. They're exactly the same words that I've seen before. It was recorded and stored in Daddy's Y data.
Mizrahi's?
Look out!
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Don't you know it's rude to come into someone's home uninvited?
Testament?
You were in the Song of Nephilim.
Oh, so you remember me. Well, isn't that nice? I find that rather interesting. You see, I remember you too. I remember that you let me die.
But... Lieutenant Virgil... How?
Now don't get all sentimental on me. It's not like I've been hiding out here in this dump all this time just so the two of us can talk about old memories. Hardly. No, I've got business to attend to with your crap.
Wait, Lieutenant! You're right. It's true that... But... that was...
Like I've told you before, all your self-righteous crap makes me sick.
Junior, look at the letters on the wall.
Damn, it's already started.
Wait, what's going on?
You were writing them without even knowing about that? Oh, whoops. And you're still compelled to write them now, huh? Now that really is funny.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple. That is the kind of place this is to those vessels of anima that you're using.
To the vessels of Anima?
What the hell are you talking about?
Come on. You're not very bright now, are you? Why don't you just try using your heads a little for once? Well, this is interesting. I guess there's just too many of you.
Lieutenant, you died. You're supposed to be dead. So how?
How did I get here? Is that your question? Am I alive or am I dead? It doesn't really matter. That isn't even important. Then again, it's not something that I would expect you to be able to understand.
Oh, please. Enough babbling nonsense, partner.
What's this? Is the new kid coming to crash the party?
The time has come. Or what? Were you planning on staying here forever?
That voice! Albedo? Hey, wait a minute! Albedo! It's you, isn't it? Did you forget about me?
Vessel of Anima. Why? You mean you pilot ESs as well?
No! Wait, Albedo! What the hell? Damn! The ES isn't responding!
Neither is mine. The energy gain is dropping. It's going to shut down.
Output's still dropping. It's no good. Unable to sustain current levels.
That's what I tried to tell you. Like I said before, that's the kind of place this is. Oh well, good luck figuring it out.
Damn it! We'll have to walk the rest of the way.
What did Lieutenant Virgil mean by, that's what kind of place this is?
I expect the answer to that question lies ahead.
Where are we? Did we come out on the surface? Man, how the hell can something like this be floating out in space?
This is...
What's up, Shion?
I've seen this place before. It's the place in my dream. Nephilim? Oh, my head.
Xion? Are you all right? What's wrong?
I'm fine. It's nothing.
This is an impressive sight.
It looks like a tomb. Are those coffins? It's empty. Did some grave robbers get to it or something?
I doubt there would be grave robbers in a place like this, but that is strange.
Junior! Look!
What is it, Momo?
This coffin has the name Asher on it.
This one says Dina. You gotta be kidding me. They're all ES names.
This is the place from Cosmos' subconscious domain. But why is it here? Cosmos, do you know this location?
No, my memory contains no data regarding our current location.
Yeah, you've never been here since you were developed. What does this all mean? Why is she here?
I am here for the 13th key. The time of awakening has arrived.
Wait a minute. What is she?
She's Cosmos.
So that's the T-weapon? Someone has a twisted sense of humor, making her look exactly like Cosmos.
This presence. But wait, she can't be.
A simple doll that doesn't even understand its reason for existence. To ensure that I continue to exist as myself. Cosmos. I'm going to destroy you.
Is it over?
Ha! Some top-secret weapon that thing was!
Xion, the enemy unit's output is 4.75 times higher than mine. Therefore, we are at a clear disadvantage.
What? Wait, what do you mean?
I am going to delay the enemy unit. Please retreat immediately.
What the? Even after all those attacks, she's still completely unharmed?
It's useless. We've already completely analyzed her combat patterns.
Why are you here? What do you mean, analyzed? Do you mean that test?
It's probably against both of your wills, but it's Cosmos' fate to be destroyed by Telos in this place.
How can you even say that to me? Why are you and Telos even here to begin with?
The answer is simple. My job is to observe you.
Testament?
You have no time to be surprised. Your princess is losing.
I will only last 140 seconds with my current capacity. Please hurry.
No way! I refuse to leave you behind, Cosmos!
Cosmos, what is the actual reason for your existence? You are nothing more than an empty vessel. How pathetic. You'll never be able to accomplish anything. Return to dust so that I may truly awaken!
What is that?
A phase transfer cannon? She's gonna fire it at this close range? Cosmos! But why? Cosmos! No! Please stop!
I am order, not you, Cosmos!
Stop it!
the hell is that light? Cosmos, no!
Now, reveal yourself to us. Show us your spark of life.
What's that? What is going on? Unable to determine. The hypersphere has suddenly begun to contract.
The gravity variation is too great. We'll be pulled in. We have to leave this area immediately.
Little Master, please respond! Little Master!
It has begun. Once again, in the same place. It has begun.
And that's where we're going to leave it here for part 1. I know it seems like we barely scratched the surface of the plot, but what the next section is going to be so deep that we're going to be watching a lot of cutscenes just because it's best to see it happen as it happens. So I'm going to leave this here, and then part 2 of Xenosaga 3 will cover the rest of the events of the game. So if you're excited for that, check it out. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed it.